Welcome to Mexico City for race 9. Revo on pole from Babinas Jr. and Bastian Tan. Following him is teammate Falstad, the championship leader. Then you've got the Red Devil, Daniel Boctasarov, Daf Sanchez, and Pablo Sierra. Marcus Nelson starts 9th from Not You and Sebastian Ocampo, the man currently in 3rd in the championship. Then you've got Tommy, Mohamed Awawi, Remy Lebeau, Tonali Gabo, Akari Lopez, Zach Wallace, Santino Milan, Pierre Gasly, Say Lane down in 20th but still ahead of Cable and Leo. Well then, Mexico City, the race where we usually have the most wrecks in the season. All 5 lights go on. And the Mexico City E3 is green. Very good start from the front row man as we're on board with Marcus Nelson. He's trying to carve his way further up the order. Looks as if he's getting brake tested by the 2 Renaults in front of him. But you can see drag race coming into the first chicane between the Diaz Fachida and the Venturi man. But it is going to be Babinas Jr. who's just about ahead and just about keeping out of the wall there. And it's a 5-second time penalty for Remy Lebeau down in 14th position as Mohamed Awawi using all of his experience possible to try and get himself up into 12th. But of course, as we now head into this little triangle section of the track, there goes Tommy looking to the inside line, further up the front. We're on board with Revo then, as he's coming under fire from the 2 McLaren drivers, one of them in front of him in Bastian Tan, and the other one now behind him in Oscar Falstad, with Sanchez and Bogdasarov trying to get past the Norwegian championship leader. But look at the corner speed he's got out of there, basically bolting away from the rest of the pack. This has been one of the cleanest actually opening laps that we've seen. I say that and then, oh look at that, virtual safety car, and that's day over for Zach Wallace. Oh dear, for the Sims Motorsport man. A virtual safety car caused by him on the opener. Not good when you consider his seat is under fire. He scored no points so far this season. And if his performances continue as is, he likely won't score any more points in his seemingly quite short career. But we're going to go back racing then. Now on lap 2 of 17 with 21 runners. Tommy Ocampo, Leo and Gasly, they're all on the hard tyres. And you know what? It's not going too well for them as we go on board with Mohamed Awawi in the silver, blue and black Mercedes EQ car, not to be confused with the black and blue DS Venturi car. Does look to be getting a little bit darker this early on in the race. Of course, last time out we did see rain on the penultimate lap into the final, and only 3 drivers were able to make the switch onto the different compound of tyres. But still out in front, the Romanian in the number 14 has been leading pretty much every lap so far. Mohamed Awawi in the number 71, trying to make up some positions with attack mode, gets himself up into 10th, but he does have that 5-second time penalty, and the Mercedes EQ man would dearly love to try and score some points over Braun Honda, who have confirmed that next season when they become Power Motorsports is... Oh, Marcus Nelson! Nelson out! Oh dear, he's wall riding there. And it just looks like he's gone 3 into that turn, and now we're under virtual safety car again. And well, for Diaz Fachida, that is just unfortunate of the highest degree. But back on topic with Braun Honda, they have confirmed that they will be moving to Renault powertrain for next season. And Sims Motorsport have confirmed that they will be moving to DS powertrain for next season. Virtual safety car is ending, and we go back racing then. I like to say then once I say a sentence already, or just so in the middle of something. That's just how I do things. But we look to Oscar Falstad in 4th position, the only one in the top 5 on the medium compound of tyres. And oh, he has attack mode. The attack mode line is after the start-finish straight to try and make a last gasp move on the last lap. You are going to have to be as close as possible and slipstream him because you don't have attack mode on one of the longest straights on the calendar. You can see Ty Webber beginning to plague the front runners. As to Mohamed Awawi we now look, and he's under threat from Tommy, who's trying to go alongside him in that black and blue DS Venturi. Of course, Tommy this season doesn't look to be as good as his teammate, but he has made a very good move there to get himself up into 10th. And do you want to know something? Ocampo following him through and just saying, thank you very much, you made my job a lot easier. Up into 10th for this season 19 champion, the reigning World Drivers' Champion, who's currently 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. And he's now following with Pablo Sierra, winner last time out in Rome for Renault Edam. It is his first season in blue. As Remy LeBeau, 10-second time penalty. Of course, this is a track that seemingly does eat rookies alive whole. As now attack mode for Remy LeBeau. Oh, let's see what he does here. That's 2 positions gained up into 12th, but oh, yellow's in the opening sector, and it's for Babinas Jr. Iron Babinas Jr. losing his front wing, coming through 3, and similar story for the Andretti driver of Daf Sanchez. The yellow flag's not out there for too long, thankfully. So the driver's still in this race, but you've got 2 front wings down at that wall, and Cable was about to make it 3, just about didn't, had enough grip on him to just keep it out. But now Babinas Jr. with tyres that should have come off at the end of last lap, if you ask me. He and Daf Sanchez are now both going to have to try and come through the stadium section and not hit any of the walls, considering the lack of downforce they've got. Just about keeping it out of that one, and he's still here, but we've got yellows, and it's for Falstad. He's facing the wrong direction, and Daf Sanchez, oh, he's gone airborne, he's out. Daf Sanchez out of the E3. Oh, and that's going to bring us a virtual safety car, which is very much needed for Revo, Falstad, Babinas Jr., and Vastian Tan. So they've all come into the pits. So for Babinas, not as bad as it could have been. But that has taken out one of the DS Andretti's. But the other one now leads this race, if it's any consolation for the guys from America. And Babinas Jr. came out of the pits in 6th, so it wasn't actually too much of a time loss thanks to the virtual safety car. And oh, yellows! 2 yellows! And it's out of the race for Santino Milan, losing his front tyre. Tommy looks as if he was grazing the wall, same with Pablo Sierra, but he's lost his front wing. But the Nissan driver in the 43 out of this race, using the same number as Franco Colapinto. I might as well note that, and it's another virtual safety car immediately after the last one. At least this time it doesn't seem as if it's going to be too bad. We should get quite a bit of racing action today. Ooh, now go back racing. And in terms of the championship, this is pretty bad for Falstad, because the gap between him and Revo is 8 points coming into this, which is effectively, if I remember correctly, a race win and fastest lap to level it. Currently, Revo scoring 4 points, which is not the 8 he needs to overtake us. Someone's making a very big overtake there, and it's Babinas Jr. getting ahead of Mohamed Awawi. Look at that, up into 3rd, ahead of the factory Mercedes EQ team. As Revo's gotten past Vastian Tan, either that or he was already ahead. Close to the wall for Mohamed, and oh! Revo's out! Oh my goodness me! Pierre Gasly hits him! Akari Lopez also out! It's a big one here in Mexico! This could have serious ramifications on the championship, and that's all been caused by Mohamed Awawi. Oh, dearie me! That's Gasly out of the race. Gabo with a time penalty. What is happening here? Oh, that's so massive. Remy LeBeau getting a 5-second time penalty as well for causing a collision. That's 15 seconds worth. And if he serves that, that's going to be one of the biggest penalties we'll ever see in the championship. But he's trying to get out of there. He just has, and we're down to only 14 runners and both Pinnacle drivers out of this race. In that melee, it's a virtual safety car with 10 laps to go, and that's allowed Tommy and Ocampo to both peel into the pit. So Babinas Jr., with 9 laps to go, leads in Mexico City. And for Oscar Falstad, currently in 5th position, this is brilliant for his championship hopes. Same for Ocampo, who's going to come out of the pits roughly in the top 10. Almost definitely in the top 10, in fact, because Gabo in 9th is only now rounding the final turn. So Ocampo re-emerges in this race in 7th position. U-Cable's looking to try and score some points once again in another wreckfest this season, seemingly the only way that the Brawn cars can score points. For Falstad, he's going to open up that lead in the championship from 8 points to, my goodness me, that's going to be over 25. It's going to be... No, it's not going to be over 25. It's going to be 23 points for the gap. And that's almost over a race win. Ocampo is going to be getting some points on Revo as well, but it's not going to be as big as a jump as coming through the stadium section comes Babinus Jr. And on to lap 9 of 17 we go. 8 to the checkered flag. As Bastian, well, he's got attack mode on the Venturi man in front of him, but I don't think he's going to try and make any moves. The Red Devil sets a new fastest lap of 103.683. Someone could try and match that or even surpass that. So let's take a look at Tenali Gabo rounding a final turn. What's he going to do coming across the line? No new fastest laps being set here. It should stay with the Pyro man. Pablo Sierra, as I say that, sets a 103.433, and Remy LeBeau sets a 102.9. Brilliant stuff from the Killer Runner man. He was almost definitely going to be classified in this race in last position. Mohamed Nawawi actually way down the order. He's so far off the back of his teammate. That's the entire main straight of the track. That's the gap. And in fact, I'd say that Nawawi is closer to Babinus Jr. than he is to Zay Lane at this point. And, you know, every driver will have their day, and every driver will have a bad day. And for someone like Revo today, he made no mistakes in this race. He was just caught out in a massive incident. But look at this. We've got a four-way fight for fourth. As there goes the Red Devil up into fourth position. Ocampo up into P3. Can he take fourth? There is Bastian's hand into the race lead. It's into the wall. Goes Einat Babinus Jr. Falstad now coming through the chicane with the reigning Drivers' Champion right behind. And into the wall goes the championship leader. He's lost his front wing. And in this tale of the championship, another page is turned and another moment is written. Babinus Jr. hit the wall and lost his front wing. Control V for Oscar Falstad, who is the man who leads the championship. Ocampo could be gaining so much on his championship rivals. Remember, coming into this race, he was 28 points off the back of Falstad, 20 points off the back of Revo. If he wins this, so much changes in the scope of the championship as Babinus Jr. coming through, Falstad coming through, of course he's defending, just keeping it out of the wall, but almost sent. There goes Ocampo up to P3. Babinus Jr. and Falstad both in with 6 laps to the checkered flag. And also in, that seemed to be, yes, Daniel Bogdasarov. But Bastian's hand now leads the field 6 seconds ahead of Sebastian Ocampo. Keep it out of the wall and you'll be doing just fine. Ocampo for DS Andretti. The hard tire strategy combined. Oh, look at that! That's the Red Devil losing his front wing as well. But for Ocampo, that hard tire strategy seemingly paying off like a charm because he's up in second. He's on the podium currently, which would improve his chances of winning the title dearly as someone else has gone off further up. That looks to be, yes, Tenali Gabo, who has lost his front wing alongside the Red Devil. You do have this little fight for 5th position. The main fight for position that we've got on track is, look at this, from Remy LeBeau looking down the inside and getting past U-Cable. And just to touch upon U-Cable, I'm pretty sure I've said this in a prior race, but I'm going to say it again. He does not look like the man who won the championship back in Season 10. He does not look like the man who's been fighting for championships prior to Season 19. I'm not too sure what's happened to him. Maybe it's just a lack of confidence with the current cars, but I'm just unsure. And we've got a full course yellow for Bastian Tan. Oh, the race leader's out. Sebastian Ocampo is the race leader. We've got drivers peeling into the pits. We've got 5 laps to go, but out of this race has gone Bastian Tan. We missed that incident. He's hit the wall, likely in a similar fashion to Marcus Nelson, except that seems to be a completely unforced error. There was 10 seconds the gap between Ocampo and Tan. That could have easily been an entire pit stop as Remy LeBeau hitting the wall in the same way his teammate did earlier on. But that's gotta be gutting for McLaren, who are fighting for both championships this season. And oh, that's wide from Ocampo. He keeps it out of the walls just about, and I think, yes, in comes Sebastian on lap 13 of 17, and Tommy comes in right behind him. Babinus Jr. is only now entering the stadium section of the track with 4 laps to go, and I think Babinus could be leading this. I'm not too sure. There's a possibility that Sebastian Ocampo is going to be leading, and the Red Devil, oh, he's sliding. He's got 20 seconds worth of time penalties. Can he get his Kiro Renault out of there? He does, but he's on the racing line and gets hit and is out. He's been hit by last time out race winner in Pablo Sierra. He's been given a 5-second time penalty, but 20 seconds and out of the race has gone Remy LeBeau. It's a virtual safety car. In comes Inocui without his entire front wing column. And we also into the pits. Babinus Jr. is leading this race, but he's 3 seconds ahead of Ocampo. Venturi are looking to try and take him at 1-3 today. But with Volstad right behind them, it doesn't seem to be that easy as we now get back racing. So 12 points. That would currently be Volstad's point score. Add that to the 8. That was the gap heading into this race, and the gap between Volstad and Revo then becomes 20 points. And I don't think Ocampo's scoring enough points to get ahead of Revo. He'd need to score 20 or more, so basically a race win to get ahead of the Italian in the championship standings. But on to lap 14 of 17 we go. 3 laps to go in this hectic, wild and wonderful Mexico City E3 on the same day that the real-life Mexico City E3 is actually going to happen. I've never had this happen before, where I'm recording a race for the FEMC in a location, and in real life, the same race in the same location is happening. We're just 9 seasons ahead of real life Formula E. Zay Lane is running in the points, but someone's about to ruin that for the newest Philippine driver, as here comes an Inocui. There goes an Inocui. Up into 10th position goes a Hong Kong man. As now coming through the second sector, Ocampo 2.3 seconds off the back of Babinus Jr., who is leading this race quite comfortably. And the thing about Babinus Jr.'s race wins, how he wins them is rarely ever too interesting. You're not going to get a grandstand finish like we saw with Ocampo or Sierra back in Marrakesh, or if I can get this place right, or Oslo in their respective seasons in 14 and 19. But you're still going to get some very good races, just not a good finish from Babinus Jr. Oh, he's hit the wall! Oh my goodness! I'm taking a step back. Babinus Jr. hits the wall with 2 laps to go. His soft tyres, just noticed, oh so worn. He's lost his front wing. Ocampo could win today. Sebastian Ocampo can win this race, get himself up into second in the driver's standings, and pretty much stamp his authority over the championship and say, look, I'm the reigning champion. I'm going to try and take my 3rd championship. I'm going to do what Revo hasn't been able to do since season 18. As look at this for Babinus Jr. So much weaving, and he's out! The Romanian's out, and he's taking Ocampo with him! Tommy leads! In Mexico! Into the pits comes Daniel Montesaro! Both Mercedes will score today! Zay Lane is currently looking at his 1st career points! I can't believe what I've just seen! That was a kamikaze move, almost certainly, for Babinus Jr., who basically hits the wall going through the stadium section, and effectively he tells Ocampo, if I can't have this race win, then you can't either. Volstad in the wall as well. And we've seen this so many times before, even last lap. You lose your front wing, and you're going to lose so much composure as the Red Devil also losing his front wing. That could end it for the Kiro Renault man. I'm not too sure if Falstad and the Red Devil are going to be able to come into the pits at the end of this lap. Zay Lane coming out to the pits at the end of this lap. Tommy for DS Venturi Formula E team on the penultimate lap is currently leading. He's got 2 turns and a lap to go to win his first race of the season, as Falstad coming through the stadium section just about keeping his wheels on the track and stays out for the final tour here in Mexico. I have not seen a race like this so far this season. Daniel Bogdasarov has been given a 5-second time penalty, and we've got into the wall goes Tommy. Tommy's hit the wall and loses his front wing. More drama at the end here in Mexico as into the wall as well. Falstad. Yellow's in the first sector. I'm losing my words here and my voice. This last lap is unbelievable. Out has gone the Red Devil, and hopping over him goes Tonali Gabo, who loses his front wing. Neither Kiro driver will score points today. The man who's going to finish on the podium in third is likely to be UK Ball at this point in time. But under full course yellow conditions, it should go to Hong Kong. I need to catch my breath here for a second. So coming through the stadium section, it's the number 45 for DS Venturi Formula E team. Tommy comes home and wins in Mexico. It's getting so dark out here, I think it might rain, in fact, as into the wall again comes Falstad. He's still in this. He's going to take second and extend his championship lead to 26 points, as it's going to be one of the closest finishes I've seen in a while. Falstad will be second with UK Ball alongside him on the podium, but Bogdasarov and Gabo at the line, of course, second and third. Wow. Oh dear. But this is the podium then. Tommy takes home the race win from Oscar Falstad and UK Ball. And it's a podium no one would have expected coming into this race. It's a podium and finishing order that no one would have ever thought of even thinking of. So, wow. Then it's an RQ, Daniel Bogdasarov, Tonali Gabo, Pablo Sierra, Mohamed Awawi, and Zay Lane, who scores his first points in his career. Everyone else did not finish this race, and Falstad's last lap there was, there's no other words for saying it, that was awful. So that second place, he has to hold on to that quite tightly, as he's now leading the championship by a race win and fastest lap. He's 26 points ahead of Revo. Then it's Sebo Campo, Daniel Bogdasarov, Daf Sanchez, Tommy Remy Lebeau, Marcus Nelson, Ironette Babinas Jr., Pablo Sierra, Enoch Yu, Vastian Tan, the Red Devil, Tonali Gabo, UK Ball, Santino Milan, Leo, and the two Mercedes EQ drivers both have 4 points on them, with Pierre Gasly, Zach Wallace, and Akari Lopez still yet to score any points today. In the constructors' standings, heading into the next round of the championship, DS Techeetah lead the way from DS McLaren TGR and DS Andretti. Then it's DS Venturi Formula E team after that race win. Then you've got Renault Edams, Kiro Renault, Nissan Nismo, Sims Motorsport, Nissan, Braun Honda GP overtakes, or rather I'm going to call in the standings, with Mercedes EQ in 11th. We'll see you guys next time then with the Formula E Motocross Championship returns.